First and foremost, just want to offer all honors, praises, respecting, knowledge, and thanks to the great King of the universe, to the God of our fathers, Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, thanking him for all things and everything. Shabbat Shalom, Nicole.
Shabbat Shalom, Nicole.
Please be seated. Oh, no. Thanking the Most High God for life, strength, food, clothing, and shelter. Thanking the Most High God for all things and everything. How's everybody feeling? I know, real short lunch break. I understand. I mean, at work, y'all would have only had like an hour, 40 minutes. Most of us would have took an hour and a half, 2 hours anyway, but legally, we only had like 60 minutes. So we're gonna continue on in the history. Man, this is throwing me off. I gotta get used to this. We're gonna continue on in the history in the second book of Samuel in the 17th chapter. We're gonna do chapters 17 and 18. And just to kind of bring y'all back up to speed from last week, Absalom had basically taken over the kingdom. King David was on the run again. And Absalom, you have this gentleman, Ahithophel, who he gave counsel to David, and he was also, now Absalom called him to give counsel to him. David prayed because David knew that Ahithophel, his counsel was like, whatever he said, that was the best advice. So the Most High God, David prayed to the Most High God, asking that he would confound his words. And you can see by the last counsel that he gave, where he gave Absalom counsel to go into David's concubines, that was the Most High God bringing that to pass. So we're going to start off in 17, and just to kind of give you a quick history of this guy, Ahithophel. He was actually a Judite. And a lot of people say that Ahithophel was Bathshuba's grandfather. Ahithophel had a son named Eliam. Bathsheba had a father named Eliam. So they just kind of figured out it was the same Eliam, and they say that he was Bathshuba's grandfather. But he was an older gentleman at that time. And so I don't know how accurate that is, but just bringing the information about it. So whenever you're ready.
We're in the second book of Samuel. 2 Samuel chapter 17, verse 1. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Moreover, Ahithophel said unto Absalom, let me now choose out 12,000 men, and I will arise and pursue after Dawid this night. And I will come upon him while he is weary and weak-handed, and will make him afraid. And all the people that are with him shall flee, and I will smite the king only, and I will bring back all the people unto thee. When all shall have returned, save the man whom thou seekest, all the people will be in peace. And the saying pleased Absalom well, and all the elders of Yisrael.
So this was Ahithophel's portion. Absalom called him, asked him, now what? And it's like Chief Benjamin said last week. Absalom, he wanted to be king. He wanted to be in power. And as soon as he got the kingship, now David left, and he was the king. And now he's sitting there like, okay, so now I'm in charge. What I do now? Yeah. You know? And so Ahithophel was like, yeah, well, you ain't got nothing else to do. Go into your father's wives. So that's what he did. Right? But, you know, so that's what he did. And so now you have, you know, Ahithophel, because Ahithophel, like Absalom was just a spoiled brat. That was who he was. But Ahithophel was a master general. He crafted what he did, and he was serious, and he was about his business. So now after all of that folly, Ahithophel is saying, listen, what we need to do is we need to go after him right now, and we need to catch him right now because they just ran out, they weary, they tired. We need to catch him right now, and we need to strike now. Because for Ahithophel, there's no turning back, because this is treason. And for him, it's like, I already got on the wrong side of the treason, so for me, it's no turning back. So this is the counsel that he gave. Let's go after him right now. We could catch him. They hot, they tired, they weary, and we could catch up to him and we could end this right now. Made sense to Absalom and all of the elders of Israel. Come on.
Verse 5. Then said Absalom, call now Hushai the Archite also, and let us hear likewise what he saith. And when Hushai was come to Absalom, Absalom spoke unto him, saying...
The thing about Absalom is, again, he didn't know. He just trying to figure this whole thing out. So if they already had a plan about what they was going to do, why not go with the plan? But for Absalom, it's like, let me just hear Hushai, just because. And so now Ahithophel, Ahithophel is like, what do you mean you want to hear somebody else? I already told you what you need to do. You ever give, everybody know that. Everybody know that Ahithophel was the best counsel that you could get. So you ever give somebody advice and somebody asks you, they tell you, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck and this, and this. And then you listen to them and you give them, look, maybe you should consider this, so on and so forth. And you hear them and then you find out later that they done did something else. And you like, well, what you asked me for? Okay. What you asked me for? So that's how Ahithophel like, well, we discussed this already. So now Absalom wants to get advice from Hushai. So now this is what Hushai says. Come on.
And when Hushai was come to Absalom, Absalom spoke unto him, saying, Ahithophel has spoken after this manner. Shall we do after his saying? If not, speak thou.
So he told him this is what Ahithophel said.
7. And Hushai said unto Absalom, the counsel that Ahithophel has given this time is not good.
No. Not this time. Normally he on point. Yeah. But not this time. But you got to understand where Hushai is coming from now. Because Hushai is the one who David said to him, listen, I need you to go in there and I need you to be my eyes and ears in the palace so that I know what's going on. So even though we're going to be on a run and we're going to be out there, I need you to listen and see what Absalom says. And whatever you do, just try to get Absalom to buy us some time. So now this is, this is where Hushai comes in. Come on.
8. Hushai said, moreover, thou knowest thy father and his men.
No.
That they are mighty men.
Listen, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. Go ahead.
And they are embittered in their minds.
And they upset.
As a bear robbed of her.
Listen. Okay, read that part.
As a bear robbed of her whelps in the field.
No. Right there. So now, Hushai is like, nah, Absalom, you know better than this. You think you gonna go in, run up on David. Think about this now. You gonna run up on David and all his mighty men, and you gonna kill David only, and then you gonna bring all of the people back with you. That's not gonna happen. Hushai is usually on point, but not this time. Ahithophel, thank you, is usually on point, but not this time. He said, listen, these are mighty men. And they angry. Why they angry? Because they are on the run again. Yeah. They outside their house, wanting to run away from their families. They on the run again. Most of the people who went out with David already been through this rodeo when David was running from Saul. Right. And Absalom, you know better than anybody because you was one of the kids on how they dealt when David was running from Saul. These some angry people. Your father is a warrior. If you run up on them now, they expecting to run up on them, you to come now, and they already got a trap waiting for you. That's not the right way to go. So now we're starting to, so now Absalom is starting to think what Ahithophel said. Come on.
Thou knowest thy father and his men, that they are mighty men, and they are embittered in their minds, as a bear robbed of her whelps in the field. And thy father is a man of war, and will not lodge with the people. Behold, he is hid now in some pit, or in some place, and it will come to pass, when they fall upon them at the first, and whosoever heareth it shall say, there's a slaughter among the people that follow Absalom.
Right. So what he's saying, what Hushai is saying is, Listen, and you know your father. You know he knows that they only looking for him. So he's not going to be with the rest of the army. You know your father is going to be somewhere, hid up in some pit, laying in some pit or hole somewhere, and you're going to run up on them, and you're not going to find David, and you already going to run into a problem because you know David and his men are mighty. This is what you need to do. Come on.
10. Then even he that is valiant, whose heart is as the heart of a lion, will utterly melt. For all Yisrael knoweth that thy father is a mighty man,
right.
and they that are with him are valiant men.
Right. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna run up on them, and you're gonna lose. Because they angry and they upset, and you know they waiting for you right now. So you gonna run up on them, they got traps set, and you gonna run up on them and you gonna lose. And even the mighty men who was strong men for you, that was strong and said men whose heart was like a lion, now their heart is gonna melt. Why? Because everybody turned coat to go with Absalom, and now Absalom's men lost. Now you gotta face David, and worse yet, Joab and his people again. That's not what you want to do. Take my advice. Consider this. This is what you want to do.
Verse 11. But I counsel that all Yisrael be gathered together unto thee.
Get everybody. Take as much time as you need to get everybody to come together and go.
From Dan even to Beer-sheva, as the sand that is by the sea for multitude.
They had to bring the Danites in because this was necessary. This was a critical time here. They had to bring those Danites in. I just had to put that in there. Y'all know when times is critical, call on Danites. I should have worn my shirt today.
Yes, sir.
I got to see my shirt? My t-shirt?
Yes, sir.
What my t-shirt say? It says, keep calm and love Don. That's what it says. What I'm talking about.
That's a great shirt, bro.
That's a beautiful shirt. I got my whole family one. Everybody got one. Well, hold on. 80% of us got one. Because 20% ain't really Don, but I'm just saying. 20% is not really Don. You know what I'm saying? And this is, you know what I'm saying? Mute that? I give y'all something to mute. Whew, I give y'all something to mute. So we're going to be playing dominoes all night tonight. I don't even need to go home. Come on.
Verse 11. But I counsel that all Yisrael be gathered together unto thee, from Dan even to Beer-sheva, as the sand that is by the sea for multitude, and that thou go to the battle in thy own person.
Right. And that was the other thing that he needed to get him to do. Don't send the men out there and you say, I need to get Absalom out in the field. Why? Absalom is not a warrior. No. And in order, even if they did win, you would have, if they won and Absalom was still in the palace, then you were still going to have to come back and fight the people that's in the palace. But if you get Absalom out in the field too, and then they catch Absalom, then everything is squashed once the battle is done, because we got Absalom out in the field. Absalom is a pretty boy. Absalom don't know nothing about no field. As you gonna see.
Right.
Him and his head.
Right.
You gonna see. Come on.
Verse 12. So shall we come upon him in some place where he shall be found, and we will light upon him as the dew falleth on the ground.
Sound good.
And of him
all the metaphorical, all that stuff. We gonna light up as him and the dew falleth upon the ground, whatever that means. Come on. We gonna be all over him. Like white on rice. That's what he's saying. We're going to be all over him like white on rice. Come on.
And of him and of all the men that are with him, we will not leave so much as one.
And we're not going to do what Hushai, what Ahithophel said and just take David. We're going to crush that whole rebellion so that when this thing is over, this is over. Come on. 13.
Moreover, if he withdraw himself into a city, then shall all Yisrael bring up ropes to that city.
He just laying it on now. And if he go up in some city, look, we got all Israel that's gonna come, and they gonna bring ropes and pull that wall down, because all Israel is with you, Absalom. They don't love David, they with you. And Absalom is like, yeah,
Look line and say,
they with me.
this is about me.
This is right. That's what it is. This is about me.
Be out there.
Ahithophel, you ain't say nothing about me.
Right.
And what you was, go ahead, keep going, Hushai.
13. Moreover, if he withdraw himself into a city, then shall all Yisrael bring up ropes to that city, and we will draw it into the valley until there be not one small stone found there.
Saying like all Israel we'll pull the whole city down and drag the city down into the valley just to find him and his men. Ooh, sound good. If the battle went that way.
Right.
Come on.
And Absalom.
Actually, I know probably some of us watch box. Anybody see the boxing fight last night? Last week. Whoa. Let's mute. Wow. So y'all just gotta keep throwing those mute jokes out there, huh? Y'all gotta keep
Going, bro.
my portion. Shabbat shalom. Yeah. The fight last Saturday night.
Right.
With Wilder and Ravern Sterling. He was talking. He was talking breezy, talking trash. I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and this monkey ain't even last one whole round. Not even one whole round. He came in talking, and Wilder came out, and then he seemed like he walked the first punch of the fight. Boom, boom, and he just went down.
Yes, he did.
And then he got up again, and this is against all boxing etiquette. He came and ran over like this, all the way up like this, and came down and hit him. And the whole time he was like this. Is he gonna hit me? Is he gonna hit? Oh, dang, he hit me. And he went down again. So it sounded good, but then that's why they fight the fight. Come on.
14. And Absalom and all the men of Yisrael said, the counsel of Hushai the Archite is better than the counsel of Ahithophel. For Yahweh had ordained to defeat the good counsel of Ahithophel to the intent that Yahweh might bring evil upon Absalom.
This is where you don't want to be.
Right.
You don't want to be in a place where your behavior is so egregious. I got you, bro. Where your behavior is so egregious that the Most High is doing things just to get you in a pickle so that he could bring evil upon you.
Right.
Ahithophel's counsel for the most part was good.
It was good, yeah.
Let's go after him right now because they tired, they weary, and they won't expect it. The bad part about what he said was when he was like, well, we're just going to kill David and bring everybody else back, because that wasn't going to happen.
Right.
But what Hushai needed to do was Hushai needed to buy time. So he said, look, call all Israel, get all of the people together that you can gather up to come, so that now he buying time. So now he can say, send the runners out. Listen, go tell David this is what's going to happen. Come on.
Verse 15. Then said Hushai unto Zadok and to Abiathar the priests, thus and thus did Ahithophel counsel Absalom and the elders of Yisrael, and thus have I counseled. Now therefore send quickly and tell Dawid, saying, lodge not this night in the plains of the wilderness, but in any wise pass over, lest the king be swallowed up and all the people that are with him. Now Jehonatan and Ahimaaz stayed by En-Rogel, and a maidservant used to go and tell them. And they went and told King Dawid, for they might not be seen to come into the city.
Right. So what you had was, you had them listening, then they tell Hushai tells the maidservant tells them, and then they go and tell David. Come on.
18. But a lad saw them.
Because it's always somebody looking. It's always listen, you think you went, I'm talking about the days back when certain things was private, not the days now where we put everything on Instagram anyway. But back in the days when things was private and you used to try to sneak around because you ain't want people to know what you was doing. it always somebody seen you. You know what you was doing? And you did something, you was somewhere, and then you go, and then on Shabbat, somebody go up there and be like, because people think it's okay to get up in the club, huh? And they was in the club on Friday night, huh? And they was watching a fight Friday, and we sitting there, and that's what you get. Because it's always somebody looking. And it might not even be, it's always somebody. Because the things that you do is always going to come out. We try to hide from us. We try to hide from man, and God see everything. But in this case, so now you had a lad. I'm telling. Oh, I'm telling. So he ran back and he told Absalom. Come on. 18.
But a lad saw them and told Absalom. And they went both of them away quickly and came to the house of a man in Bahurim who had a well in his court. And they went down thither. And the woman took and spread the covering over the well's mouth and strewed groats thereon. And nothing was known. And Absalom's servants came to the woman to the house. And they said, Where are Ahimaaz and Yehonatan? And the woman said unto them, They are going over the brook of water. And when they had sought and could not find them, they returned to Jerusalem.
Espionage is not, just so you like this well, it was a deep well. No, that's mine. It was a deep well, and so they had to go all the way down into the well, and then they put a cover over the well. And then she put grain and barley on top of the cover. So, you know it was dark in there.
Right.
I mean, like real dark, not like turn off the lights dark. It was real dark because there wasn't no light coming in. And they had to stay in that well until they came and said that it's okay for you to come out. Come on.
21. And it came to pass, after they were departed, that they came up out of the well and went and told King Dawid. And they said unto Dawid, Arise ye and pass quickly over the water, for thus hath Ahithophel counseled against you. Then Dawid arose and all the people that were with him, and they passed over the Jordan. By the morning light there lacked not one of them that was not gone over the Jordan.
The reason that it was important for them to go, because even though Hushai told them that I bought you some time, but again, Absalom kind of like is flip-floppy. So just any minute, Absalom could go right back and be like, nah, let's take Hushai advice. So, but let's take Ahithophel's advice. But all Hushai needed was just the time to get him the message to say, this is what the plan is. This is about how many people going to be coming, just so you're going to be ready. Come on.
23. And when Ahithophel saw that his counsel was not followed, he saddled his ass and arose and got him home unto his city and set his house in order and strangled himself. And he died and was buried in the sepulchre of his father.
Because once you take treasonous acts, you can't turn back.
Right.
We the only ones that forgive people who do all types of... Listen, Ahithophel knew that the status that he was in, that after all of this, once he knew David was going to win. Once David came back in the city, he might have got a pass from David. But Joab, who I'm going to tell y'all right now is my favorite character throughout all of this.
No pass.
Joab, huh?
No passes.
No passes.
No.
Joab don't give passes. And Joab wasn't going to allow this to stand. So Ahithophel, he got everything in order, wrote his will out, hung himself. Y'all see The Godfather? Mm-hmm. Godfather 2? What was my man's name? I remember my man's name, but it was, one of them. So they finally caught him, and they got him to he was going to turn over and he was going to snitch against the Corleones. And then they walked in the courtroom with his brother. So then he decided not to snitch no more. But the thing about it was he knew because he was going to snitch, at that point there was nothing left for him to do. So when they went to go knock on his door to see if he was okay, he was in the bathroom and he had slit his wrist. Because when you're dealing with people of that magnitude, it ain't no coming back. And that's when you're dealing with Joab, that's the type of the magnitude that Joab had. Come on.
24. When Dawid was come to Mahanaim, Absalom passed over the Jordan, he and all the men of Yisrael with him. And Absalom had set Amasa over the host instead of Joab.
Keep that in mind
Right.
for the upcoming weeks.
Yes.
Amasa, who was their cousin, went with went with Absalom. Keep that in mind over the next couple weeks. And so now this place, Mahanaim, this is on the other side of the Jordan. This is in Manasseh's territory. So basically what David did was David went over into Manasseh's territory. He crossed the Jordan and he went over into Manasseh's territory. And because you always have eyes and ears, Absalom heard, so Absalom followed him into that territory. So now you got to kind of understand what's happening. David and his men are going, but David and his men, after they go, they have time to rest, because at that point Absalom and his men are on the move. Come on.
Now Amasa was the son of a man whose name was Itra, the Jezreelite, that went into Abigail, the daughter of Nachash, sister of Zeruiah, Joab's mother. And Yisrael and Absalom pitched in the land of Gilead.
So Joab and Absalom, again, are cousins. First cousins. Come on.
27. And it came to pass, when Dawid was come to Mahanaim, that Shovi, the son of Nachash of Rabbah, of the children of Ammon, and Machir, the son of Amiel, of Lo-Deber, and Barzillai, the Gileadite, of Roglim, bought beds, and basins, and earthen vessels, and wheat, and barley, and meal, and parched corns, and beans, and lentils, and parched pulse, and honey, and curd, and sheep, and cheese of kine, for Dawid, and for the people that were with him to eat. For they said, the people is hungry and faint and thirsty in the wilderness.
And one of the things that you're going to see about David is when you do something for David, David always repays kindness. And when you hear about David in the upcoming weeks on how he deals with these people, especially the sons of Barzillai, you're going to tell them they always need to eat at your table. Because when we were hot and tired and faint out in the wilderness, they came out at the cost of their lives and brought beds and food and all of that type of stuff for us to eat. Come on.
2 Samuel chapter 18 verse 1. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And Dawid numbered the people that were with him, and set captains of thousands and captains of hundreds over them. And Dawid sent forth the people, a third part under the hand of Joab, and a third part under the hand of Abishai the son of Zeruiah, Joab's brother, and a third part under the hand of Ittai the Gittite. And the king said unto the people,
Hold on. So now this Ittai the Gittite, they talked about him earlier. You know, Ittai was a foreigner, and not only was he a foreigner, Ittai was actually a Philistine. He came from the same place that Goliath came from. But so you know he was, this dude was bad. For him to be put up in the captain of hosts with Joab and Abishai, you know he was serious. He was a foreigner, but he was serious. He was about his business. So now David gets the information and the intel on what's happening. So now David is setting up all of the army and setting up everything in order. Come on.
Middle of 2. And the king said unto the people, I will surely go forth with you myself also. 3. But the people said, Thou shalt not go forth. For if we flee away, they will not care for us. Neither if half of us die will they care for us. But thou art worth 10,000 of us. Therefore, now it is better that thou be ready to succor us out of the city.
So now David, who's a warrior himself, David is like, I'm going with y'all. But the people are like, you don't need to go, because they're not looking for the rest of us. They're only looking for you. And if something, they're going to put every effort that they need in order to get you. So if something happens to you, then the rest of us going to be accounted as offenders and put to death. But the other reason that they didn't want David to go is what you're going to read about a little later. David wanted to be in the midst of it because he knew that this battle was against Absalom. And listen, I know this is going to hit different people in different ways. It just seemed like regardless to everything that happened, David still loved all of them. All of Absalom, all the boys. But if you ask me, if my son went and slept with my woman, I'm gonna want to go to the battle before another reason. I'm just saying. But he got you on a run, and you still have that feeling that you like, just, you know, I just got this. It's my son. And unfortunately, a lot of times that's what gets us in trouble. That's not to say that you're not supposed to love your children, because you do, and you're always gonna love them. But sometimes there's a point that you cross. There's a line that you cross where, not that I don't still love you, but
You went too far.
listen. My mother's favorite line was, "Listen, I love you. So this mocker you about to get is gonna hurt you, gonna hurt me more than it's gonna hurt you." And me being a smart one, I just don't see how that's gonna happen. I can't relate. I can't understand. So obviously, you know, mine was worse than my brother's because I had the small mouth. But you know, I mean, that's just what it is. Come on.
Verse 4. And the king said unto them, what seemeth you best, I will do. And the king stood by the gate side.
But like I said, they didn't want him out there because we need to do what we need to do. And I'm sure Joab was the one that spearheaded this. We need to do what we need, and we don't need you being conflicted in the middle of the battle, having a sore spot, you slipping, and we in the middle of a battle. We don't need that.
And the king stood by the gate side, and all the people went out by hundreds and by thousands.
And that's the other thing about David is that, David was the king. David was the leader. But David listened.
Right.
David as the leader could take advice.
Yes.
David as the leader, he understood that we look at David and put him on a pedestal to say he was as great as he was. David didn't look at himself that way. David looked at himself as a regular person. Right. When they talk about, you hear us up here sometime and we talking and we be like, yeah, and we heap all of these titles and all of these things upon ourselves. David was the king, beloved of God. And when he spoke to people, he said, God, you made me a prince. Because David knew that it's only one king. Right. I'm just a prince. And so when they was able to tell him that, and even though he wanted to go, he said, you know what? Whatever seemed best to y'all, so be it. I think he might have talked a little bit because he probably last time y'all told me to stay back is when I got in trouble with that Bathsheba situation. So I really, really need to go. I need something to do. Right. But they're like, listen, just don't go walking on no roofs and you'll be fine. But you need to stay back. Yeah, right. Right. But you just need to stay here. Come on.
Verse 5. And the king commanded Joab and Abishai and Ittai, saying,
See?
Deal gently for my sake with the young man, even with Absalom. And all the people heard when the king gave all the captains charge concerning Absalom.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb. I know Chief Benjamin going to be angry with me because I'm reading between in the white space. But I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say, everybody listen to that. They probably wasn't happy about it. But everybody listened to it except Joab. I think I'm the only person who could take a story about David and turn it into Joab. Because Joab was like, yeah, right. What you crazy. You wildin' right now. He ain't say it. He ain't say it. But you know the spirit that Joab had. Everybody, look, whatever the three of y'all do, you got the whole army out. We in the middle of the wilderness, we on a run. We got our families, half of them here, sleeping in the woods and forests and all these different things. I know that this is what we going through, but just go easy on the boy. The person who is responsible for us being out here, just forgive him. Forgive him. Bring him back safe. And like I said, it was some people. Yeah. But Joab was like, yeah. Let's see how that work out, kid. Come on.
Verse 6. So the people went out into the field against Yisrael, and the battle was in the forest of Ephraim.
So what you have is, you have this portion of Ephraim, which is what borders right on the Jordan River. So what they did was, the Israelites, David's men, crossed over into the tribe of Manasseh, and they were dwelling there. Absalom followed him. They left David in the city over there, and then they came back across the Jordan, back into the land of Ephraim. So Absalom just basically following them, but what they're doing is they're making sure David is safe and far away, just in case the battle don't go so well. But the other thing that's happening is this, is like I said, they come across and then they get a chance to rest. Absalom people are coming across, and as soon as Absalom's people came right across, that's when the battle started. So they was already tired from walking and coming across the Jordan and all of that, and that's when the battle started, and they attacked. And so now they in the forest.
7. And the people of Yisrael was smitten there before the servants of David.
Ooh, this was bad.
And there was a great slaughter there,
This was bad.
that day of 20,000 men.
Because all of that business about bringing all Israel and bringing all Israel wasn't coming, because all Israel wasn't involved in all that. And I'm gonna make Chief Benjamin upset again, and I'm gonna say the Danites wasn't a part of this. We stayed where we was at, and whatever them other tribes, whatever them other tribes was doing. We was up in Don and over in the corner. We had our own idol to deal with. We wasn't worried about what was going on over here. Come on.
Verse 8. For the battle was there spread over the face of all the country, and the forest devoured more people that day than the sword devoured.
Because God was with them. Because listen, you got to think about this now. I mean, this is a deep, thick forest with thick trees, and these guys are trying to come through the forest, but they already waiting for them. And David's men already have their positions in all of these different spots. So as the people are coming in, they just taking them out. And then you got the Most High in the matter, who, as the people are coming in, the Most High he's just picking them out. He's just taking them out. Y'all see the movie, and I'm just trying to get y'all a picture of like what's happening here. You see the movie, what was it? The Patriot?
Yeah.
That was it, The Patriot, with Mel Gibson.
Yes.
When the British soldiers came in with them dumb bright red coats.
Yes.
And the British soldiers came in marching through with the red coats, and the rest of them, they just hiding in the trees and all of that, and take them off. That's a synopsis of what happened right here. Come on.
Verse 9. And Absalom chanced to meet the servants of Dawid. And Absalom was riding upon his mule, and the mule went under the thick boughs of a great terebinth.
Absalom ain't had no business out there. Absalom wasn't no fighter. He wasn't no warrior. These guys are out there fighting, and Absalom in his pretty hair, he riding on a mule through the forest. He said he had to cut his long, and he was a pretty dude. Actually, I mean, I could see Absalom, if this was the 90s, I could see Absalom with some red shoes, coming to work detailing some red shoes. Nice pressed garment with the creases that you sew in. And that was Absalom. So he's sitting there walking around, gonna be high riding in the forest, and so he get caught up. He ain't had no business out there. He probably was light skinned too. Y'all think so? What y'all think? Y'all think he was light skinned? More than likely light skinned. More than likely.
It's a good
High yellow.
right?
High yellow. I mean, he just pretty boy. Shamar more tight before he cut his hair. Right? Before the haircut, curly and all that.
Curly flats out.
That's what I'm saying. That's probably how he got caught up. Curly finger wave Absalom walking through, and the trees just kind of get caught up, and now he's stuck. Ain't no business out there, man. Come on. You don't think he's light skinned? I think he was light skinned. I was light skinned. Huh?
David was light skinned too. That's why they didn't think.
I think, I mean, it's not me trying to be, I think David was a little more reddish, not really light. Like almond brown. I think, you don't think so?
Almond brown.
Let me guess. Oh, I don't know, maybe. Might have been, I don't know. But he wasn't, however you call it, David was not as light as Absalom. Absalom was light. He was light. Come on.
And Absalom was riding upon his mule, and the mule went under the thick boughs of a great terebinth. Verse 9. Middle of verse 9. And his head caught hold of the terebinth, and he was taken up between the heaven and the earth, and the mule that was under him went on.
Stop. And he's starting, the mule keep going. So now he stopped hanging by his hair. Just sitting there, kicking his back. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that something? He was probably short too. I think he was short too. That's smart. I think might have been on the shortest side. Because that's what I'm saying. How he couldn't just kind of just get himself, he was short. He was short. See?
That's probably about nine.
Can we mute this? See? This is why I can't get through the portions. You know what I'm saying? This is why. Come on.
You got time.
Verse 10.
We're going to strike that from the record. Come on.
And a certain man saw it and told Joab and said, Behold, I saw Absalom hanging in a terebinth. And Joab said unto the man that told him, And behold, thou sawest it? And why didst thou not smite him there to the ground? And I would have had to give thee 10 pieces of silver and a girdle. And the man said unto Joab, Though I should receive 1,000 pieces of silver in my hand, yet would I not put forth my hand against the king's son. For in our hearing the king charged thee and Abishai and Ittai, saying, Beware that none touch the young man Absalom. Otherwise, if I had dealt falsely against my own life, and there is no matter hid from the king, then thou thyself wouldst have stood aloof.
Right. So now, this is what's happening, and I just want to kind of paint this picture, because obviously, wherever the man came back to find Joab was not where Absalom was. Well, we agree with that?
Yes.
Okay, so now, at the end of the conversation, Joab was right there in front of Absalom. Well, we agree with that too? Okay, I mean, when you read the next verse, I'm just a little premature, but when you read the next verse, you're going to see that at the next verse, Joab was right in front of Absalom. So what seems to have happened is Joab ran up on, he asked him, look, I seen Absalom. And Joab is like, and where is he? Oh, nah, he stuck under a tree, and you didn't kill him? And so now they talking, and Joab is like, no, walk and talk, son, walk and talk. Walk and talk, because we got to make sure he don't get away. If you ain't stopping, we got to make sure he don't get away. Look, walk and talk, son. Walk and talk. So now they walking, because the other thing that Joab don't want to do is Joab still don't know where he is. So I think if Joab knew he got away and he knew where Absalom was, I think that man would have been in the same spot as Absalom. Yeah. That's just my opinion. But he didn't know where he was, so walk and talk, son. Come on, let's go. Where you saw him at? But I would have gave you 10 pieces of silver. And they going, and they talking, like, you know. And so now he comes upon Absalom. And so now the guy's not stupid. Well, actually, in my opinion, he's a little, because I don't think he should have responded this way. But he said, listen, everybody heard what the king said. The king said, don't put your hands on the boy. Everybody heard it. You always got the smart aleck Israelites. See, I was about to say something.
Right.
Because I'm still in the zone.
Tell that, bro.
I'm just saying. You got the smart aleck Israelite because he said, for in our hearing,
right,
The king charged you and you and you and told him don't touch him. That's what he said. Joab is like, yeah. And he said, so what would have happened is if I would have killed him and news would have came back, then they would have asked and they would have said, what happened to the boy? And they would have said, oh, well, he killed him. And Joab, he said, and Joab, you would have just stood there and you would have just stood aloof. Like they would have been like, well, I ran across him and I killed him, king. And Joab would have been like, is that what happened, huh? I see, okay. And then the king would have been upset with him. So he said, so I didn't do anything. You heard it. He told you. Come on.
14. Then said Joab, I may not tarry thus with thee.
All right, whatever. You said enough. I can't keep dealing with this. Go ahead.
And he took 3 darts in his hand.
Now, like I said, so you see it, at this point, now he's in front of Absalom. Because he got the information that he needed.
Right.
He got him there, got the information that he needed. Oh, Absalom. I can't deal with this no more. Shalom, my Shalom. Absalom. You know he was talking. Short, angry. You need to get me down from here. I'm just saying. Yo, Joab, man. You know how I'm just saying. Joab, stop playing. We cousins, man. Cousins, man. And Joab is like, so, one of us is in a situation. And only one of us gonna get out of it. And it said Joab took 3 darts. What happened?
And he took 3 darts in his hand and thrust them through the heart of Absalom while he was yet alive in the midst of the terebinth.
So Joab saw Absalom hanging in the tree, and Absalom is talking. Joab, because you know he was Joab. Joab was like, so, what you gonna do with that, Joab? What you gonna do with? You better not throw that dart at me. You better not throw that dart. That's for my field that you burnt down.
Right. Remember that?
Joab. Joab, stop playing. This is for having us out here in the field running around like we some type of fugitives or something like that. That's 2, right?
Yes.
And then the third one is
Sleeping with your father's concubines.
Yeah. Nah, this was for sleeping with your father's concubines, and I never liked your pretty self anyway, and you were too late for everybody, and then what happened? Pretty Ricky, what they call him. Pretty Ricky, what they call him.
He's far. Come on. And 10 young men that bore Joab's armor compassed about and smote Absalom and slew him.
So now, the darts didn't kill him. The darts, he was still hanging there, and then Joab said to his people, who was his people, who ain't care what the king said, they only care what Joab said. So after that, Joab got his 10 goons.
Oh, work now.
I wish I had an entourage. I was gonna get 10 kids to come up around the whole thing, because then they surrounded him, similar to like, for those who was around in the 90s and all those types of things, when it used to be downtown Albee Square Mall, outside of Albee Square Mall, anywhere up and down Fulton, up until I think the only part of Fulton that was safe in the 90s and in the 80s was. You're probably right. You're probably right. I was gonna say like from the courthouse up. Nah, from the courthouse up. From the courthouse. After the courthouse. After the courthouse. Montague Street. Montague Street was safe. That's the only part of Fulton you could go on. And what used to happen is, I'm telling you, because I seen it. You people seen my man had on a brand new pair of Reebok pumps. Looked like they was just pumped up too. And he was walking, and what used to happen is, because downtown was crowded, and what used to happen is they'll surround you. So now people not really paying attention because everything is surrounded, and now they got you in the middle of a circle, and then they was just like, And the thing about it was, it didn't matter what size you said, because your shoes was gonna fit one of them 10 people that had you in the circle. Your shoes was gonna fit one of them 10 people that had you in the circle. When I tell you my man came back, brand new pair of Reebok pumps, he was in his socks, man. He walked up from full downtown Brooklyn up to the nice building right before Fort Greene, the one on the other side of Myrtle. The nice building on Myrtle and Ashland, not the Walt Whitman side of Myrtle and Ashland, but the nice co-op side of Myrtle and Ashland. And he had to walk from downtown Brooklyn in his socks. He had socks on, they ain't taking socks. And that's what used to happen. So, the 10 dudes surrounded him, and all you heard was whatever you heard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just whatever you heard. And, you know, the guys, but Joe, you wasn't supposed to. Right. Y'all done? All right, go ahead.
Verse 16. And Joab blew the horn, and the people returned from pursuing after Yisrael, for Joab held back the people. And they took Absalom.
So, hold on. So now, once they was finished, then now at this point, because you got to realize, and I mean, I know we making light of it, but this is a civil war, so it's not a good time. Because this is Israelites killing Israelites. That's what I'm saying. Everybody upset with Joab. Everybody talk about, listen, to me, Joab was necessary. I think Joab was an admirable gentleman. Me personally, more or less. I mean, everybody have their faults, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I'm just saying. And this was what was necessary. Because what would have happened, and you're going to see it, I don't want to go into the next person's portion for next week, but what would have happened is, listen, we out here running from this person that now you talking about go easy on them? It's like those people who talking about, look, your enemies, pray for your enemy. Pray for who? Pray for what? Come on. And that's how they was feeling right now. So Joab, after the threat was resolved, Joab blew the horn to tell everybody to stop. Joab was the correct person to run across Absalom, because anybody else might have did something that was different, and this would have just went on. Come on.
17. And they took Absalom and cast him into the great pit in the forest. Sometime
you need people like this too. I mean, it's all nice. It's nice and it's all good to have the spokesman and a political person and a person who could speak volumes and make everybody happy. That it's good to have people like that. It's good to have people like Maury Yifta. That's good. But sometimes you need what you need.
Right.
Sometimes you need these 10. Yeah. Go ahead. What they do?
And they took Absalom and cast him into the great pit in the forest and raised over him a very great heap of stones. And all Yisrael fled, everyone to his tent.
They cut all that pretty hair, pulled them down, cut all that pretty hair, tossed them in a pit. There's a prince. Pretty boy. Probably had a nice goatee. Probably his goatee probably grew, and he didn't even have to shave it and cut it. It probably just grew right. Me too. That's why I'm talking like this. Pretty boy. Natural shape up. All that. Tossed him in a pit somewhere. And heaped stones on him.
Stones over him.
David ain't gonna bury him. Come on.
18. Now Absalom in his lifetime had taken and reared up for himself the pillar, which is in the king's dale. For he said, I have no son to keep my name in remembrance. And he called the pillar after his own name, and is called Absalom's monument unto this day.
He made a pillar of himself. I mean, like usually people die and they make a pillar fight. He made a pillar of himself
in his life
while he was still alive. You know?
That's how you know he's light skinned.
That's what I'm saying. That's how you know he was light skinned?
Exactly.
The pillar was probably light skinned, right?
Exactly.
Took some dark skinned clay and put some white, he was light skinned. That's what light skinned people do, man. Right. Come on.
19. Then said Ahimaaz the son of Zadok, let me now run and bear the king tidings, how that Yahweh has avenged him of his enemies. And Joab said unto him, thou shalt not be the bearer of tidings this
Love
day,
this guy.
but thou shalt bear tidings another day.
Look, what you talking about? Run and tell the king what? Ain't no good news. What you run and tell him for? Ain't no good news. Run and tell tidings another day. This is, mind you, this is the priest, the Israelite. Now's not the time for that. You don't want to tell David that his son that you don't want to tell him that. Just you don't want that. Just leave that alone. Don't worry about that. You tell tidings another day. Go ahead.
But this day thou shalt bear no tidings,
Right.
for as much as the king's son is dead.
Right.
Then said Joab to the Cushite,
Yeah.
go tell the king what thou hast seen.
Y'all get what's happening here? He told the priest. He told the priest. Listen, no. Now ain't no time for good tidings. This is bad. The king's son is dead. Don't you have some respect? How you think he gonna receive that? Hey yo, Hushai, go tell the king. Hey, go tell the king that the king's son is dead. That's my man. How could you not like him? Y'all not with me. I see y'all was just like, I ain't with you. You probably like, wow, how could you like him? This is great. He ain't let the Israelite go. He told a foreign. Yeah, go, yo, Cushite. And he didn't even have a name. His name was Cushite. Yeah. They said, and he told the Cushite, hey, yo, Cushite. Go tell the king this. He didn't even have a name. Yeah.
And the Cushite bowed down unto Joab and ran.
So now all right, I got you. Now him and his dark self go running through the forest. Yeah. Nah, he got some shoes. You say he ain't got no. How you think he ain't got no shoes? Oh wait, I don't know if we should be talking to you, man. After what you just pulled a few minutes ago, we probably should be talking. Yeah, but I love y'all, man. I tell you, no place else where you could get abused and talked about, and then they just expect you to laugh. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that something? Come on.
Verse,
Run, tell him. With your no shoes on. Go ahead.
verse 22.
No sandals? Yo, do y'all realize for the first time in forever, an American woman won the marathon?
Yes.
Let's step back for a minute. For the first time in forever, a woman from Kenya or somebody from Kenya didn't win the marathon. Ain't that something? Because they always win. You always know first place is going to be somebody from Kenya.
They gave him a head start.
Always first place. Hushites, you know what I'm saying? Hushites. That's what they do. Oh, man. I ain't messing with you. I'm not messing with you. Go ahead. Barefoot and running.
Verse 22.
To get us shut down.
Then said Ahithophel the son of Zadok yet again to Joab, but come what may,
Look, just let me go, man.
let me, I pray
Let me
thee,
tell him.
also run after the Cushite.
Let me go.
And Joab said, wherefore wilt thou run, my son,
Don't
seeing
you
that thou wilt have no reward for the
That
tidings?
ain't no good news. Why are you still trying to go? He already going. I could catch him. People Cushite, you can't catch him. You can't catch him. Go ahead.
Verse 23.
You gotta enjoy
But come what may,
You gotta
said
enjoy
he,
life sometime, man.
I will run.
Just 5-10 minutes ago, I was so freaked. I wasn't trying to make a I wasn't trying to come up in here and make a appearance like some people try to do. I was just downstairs. I was in my thoughts. You gotta enjoy life, man. That's right. You gotta laugh. That's right. You gotta joke. You know, you gotta enjoy life. Come on.
But come what may, said he, I will run. And he said unto him, run.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, man. Just go ahead. And you know, as soon as he said it, look, but I could go. Just let me go. Just go ahead and go. He took off, man. He was gone.
He broke right out.
Broke right out.
Then Ahithophel ran by the way of the plain and overran the Cushite.
Ooh, he had a head start. I mean, he had a head start. Cushite was running, but Ahithophel, he was, come on.
24. Now David sat between the two gates, and the watchman went up to the roof of the gate unto the wall and lifted up his eyes and looked. And behold, a man running alone. And the watchman cried and told the king. And the king said, if he be alone, there is tidings in his mouth. And he came apace and drew near. And the watchman saw another man running. And the watchman called unto the porter and said, behold, another man running alone. And the king said, he also brings tidings. And the watchman said, I think the running of the foremost is like the running of Ahithophel, the son of Zadok. And the king said, he is a good man and cometh with good tidings.
So now at the point that because Ahithophel was like, listen, I am not about to let this African beat me to the city. So you ever been in a race and you running and you think you good. So you just, taking it easy and then you like, so he came, but Ahithophel, he was gone. He was gone. He overtook him. So he was like, I see somebody running. I see two people that look like Ahithophel. He always got good news because he's one of those people who want a brown nose. Yeah, that's him. Let me tell the king. Let me tell the king. Let me tell. Come on.
28. And Ahithophel called and said unto the king, all is well. And he bowed down before the king with his face to the earth and said, blessed be Yahweh thy God.
Breath. He was, all is well. King, all is well. Come on. Because he know the king want to know. Go ahead.
Blessed be Yahweh thy God, who has delivered up the men that lifted up their hand against my lord the king.
Sound good, but that's not what David wanted to hear.
And the king said, is it well with the young man Absalom?
Listen, I would feel away. But that's for the next person next week. But so now he coming and he's like, all is well. What he said? He said something real poetic. Delivered up the men who lifted up their hand against the enemies of the king. Yeah, where's Absalom? Yeah. No, but the enemies of the king are dead. But where's Absalom? Come on.
And Ahithophel answered, when Joab sent the king's servant.
He dishing out names. He talking about, he ain't got all the information. Go ahead, man.
And me, thy servant, I saw a great tumult, but I knew not what it was. And the king said, turn aside and stand here.
Right. So now what's happening is this. So the king asked him, look, everything's good, king. King, enemy of the king, where's Absalom? No, but the king's enemy is dead. Yeah, but where's Absalom? Well, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure where Absalom is. All I know was that Joab was there, and there was 10 men around somebody who looked like Absalom. All I heard was hair being cut, and you think you ain't so pretty now. That's all I heard, King. And it was a commotion, and I don't even know what happened. And the king is like, yeah, just stand right here. Just go over there. Get in the corner, get in the bathroom. Here, the next man. Come on.
30. And the king said, turn aside and stand here. And he turned aside and stood still. And behold, the Cushite came. And the Cushite said, tidings for my lord the king. For Yahweh has avenged thee this day of all them that rose up against thee. And the king said unto the Cushite,
yeah, but where's Absalom?
is it well with the young man Absalom?
So the Cushite, because he just a servant. Right. He don't know no better. So all he did was what Joab told him to do, which was just tell the king this. You ain't got to say nothing more, nothing less. Just tell the king this. Come on.
And the Cushite answered, the enemies of my lord the king, and all that rise up against thee to do thee hurt, be as that young man is. Hallelujah.
So now, if y'all want the answer to what happened, y'all need to tune in next week. Y'all need to tune in next week. Same Israelite time.
Same Israelite state.
Same Israelite channel. All honors, praises, respect, acknowledgement, and thanks we offer unto the great King of the universe, to the God of our fathers, to the God of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, thanking him for all things and everything. Shabbat Shalom L'Kol.
Shabbat Shalom.